there, Sandra here from Create in Spain. Today I wanted to show you a couple of pens that I've got. This is a Signo pen and I did have a white version of this. They're broad nib, so although they do write very, very well, not wonderfully fine nibs, okay. And my white one recently ran out and I threw it out and I went to go get another one and my stationer's was closed for whatever reason. So I decided, I can't be bothered to go shopping for it specifically, I'll order some online. And when I did, I found these, which are also Signo pens, but they're fine tip ones. These are a much smaller tip, they're 0.7 apparently. And they were advertised as having comfort grip and waterproof. I thought, ooh, that's interesting, waterproof. So, pack of 3 costs the same as a pack of 3 of this type of Signo pen. So I thought I would do a little comparison. This, as far as I'm aware, is not waterproof. It's the metallic silver one, but I don't remember buying it thinking it was waterproof. The first thing that you notice is that this pen is longer than this one and it's thinner. It weighs a similar amount, I guess. But whereas this pen sort of feels comfortable and smooth and, well, nice, this one feels like any old cheap biro. And it was advertised as having a comfort grip. Now if I take the cap off of here, I don't know if you can actually see, because it wasn't immediately obvious in the photograph, this is not a round grip. This has got angles on it. They're not sharp angles, but there are angles nonetheless, in the same way that there are angles going down the barrel, which again you probably can't easily tell. But it's something like a hexagon. This is a smoother version of the hexagon, but it's definitely not round. Do I find this comfortable for writing? No, actually, I don't. I would not class this as a comfort grip, not under any stretch of the imagination, so that I do not find impressive at all. Sorry, but no. Now the other thing it does say is that it's waterproof. Is this pen waterproof? Well, actually I can tell you the answer already because I've tested it, and no, it isn't. I did a test earlier where I actually dried this off with a heat gun and then went over it with just a water brush. And sadly, when you do that, you can see the white ink coming off. It is not waterproof. So not only is it not comfortable, it's not waterproof. And it doesn't look as nice as the other one. Now this is my personal opinion and you're quite welcome to disagree with it. But comparing this Signo to the Broad Signo, there's no comparison. I'd much sooner have the Broad Signo. Unfortunately, I know that if I were to take this back to the post office and queue up, it would take me probably half an hour's queuing to post it back. And I really can't be bothered for the sake of something like €9. But these were the same price and I wish I had got these instead because I don't like this at all. And I did in fact contact the manufacturers on their website. And did I get a response? No, I didn't. And I contacted the Madrid office and I contacted them both in Spanish and in English and I got no response from them at all, since Friday at least. So I thought I might have got a response from them yesterday, but I didn't. And so far today, nothing either. But yeah, my personal opinion, if you're wondering which ones to get, don't bother with these. Just go for the regular Signo Broad because they're more comfortable to use. I can use them in my machine, but I wouldn't use them for handwork. They're just not comfortable to hold. I do remember saying not so long ago, I don't need any more pens. I really shouldn't make rash comments like that, should I? Okay, I've got this set of pens which I ordered off of Amazon, and they're actually from an English company. Wow, surprising. I didn't even realise that when I ordered them. They're double tip markers, and the difference is the type of tip that they have. Gosh, try saying that quickly. They are double-ended. One end has a chisel tip and the other has a very, very fine point. So this is the fine point. So this is probably a 4.4mm one. Very similar to some hex pens that I've got, and very, very nice if you want some very delicate lines. Now this end is a chisel tip, but it's not like your normal alcohol marker chisel tip. This is a flat chisel tip, so it's rather like a chisel. So you will get the thick line and the thin line depending on the angle that you hold it. Okay, there we go, so some more or less italic. If I were to hold it at a different angle, I would get a different effect. So angle-wise, I'm holding this at about 10 past 8. I think something 10 past 8 now. So doing the same kind of lettering. You can see the difference. That's what you would be doing with them normally, as well as doodling and flourishes and all that sort of stuff. So good from that point of view. That's not quite what I bought them for. No, not quite. I bought them to see if I could use them in a similar way in the Brother Scan and Cut. And the simple answer to that is yes, you can. So what I have, because I don't have the correct Brother thing, is this, which is very similar. And basically I just hold that in there and I push my pen through until it just touches the base there. Now you do want to be careful, because if you push it through too far you'll end up putting too much pressure on the tip and you'll just ruin your tip. So you may possibly want to experiment with very small amounts of writing before you go ahead and you go full pelt. And I would advise a relatively slow speed for it, because yeah, if you've got to stop it, you can stop it a bit easier. If you imagine that going into the pen, into the holder, what you would normally be tempted to do, if you had a pen which didn't have an angle on it, what you would see basically if you were looking down at the pen or across at the pen is that what you want to do to get your fancy writing technique is not to have it at, if I put it up this way you might be able to see better. So if that is 6 o'clock, okay, what you want to do is to put it to 5 past 7 or something like that. And as long as it has got that angle when it goes in, turned it the wrong way for 5 past 7, I was looking at it in the wrong direction. So basically you want to skew it slightly to the left. And you put it in the holder and then you do your writing. Okay, how well does that work? And it does work very well. You don't actually need to have a special font for it. You can have a special font, but you don't actually need it. So I have a sheet here where what I did was I wrote, and I'll just zoom in a bit so you can see. There we go. I just wrote some words on my iPad in Concepts. Now Concepts is an app that I use a lot, but it's handy for this test because you can draw a single point line. So basically it's a line between the points It isn't like a manufactured script or font on your computer. It is made from one continuous line. Okay. Now the reason for that is because some of the fonts on your computer might be a double line where it goes down a letter and up and around and then across and around and back and so on and so forth. Some fonts do and some fonts don't. But this is definitely single line. Now I would not go any smaller than that really with a pen of that type, because you need a certain amount of gap between the letters, and the holes in the letters need to be a certain size in order for it to make some kind of sense when it's written. It would be very similar if I was actually writing it by hand. You know, if you go too small with a wide nib, you can't tell what you've written. It's as simple as that. But that goes for however you would be writing with a wide nib. So I decided to pick some random fonts off of my computer and write them. And this is what I got. So I'm going to zoom back out again. So hopefully, yeah, you can just about see the entire lot. And I have actually written the names down on most of them. So we've got some where it's come out really, really well. For example, I like this hello. That is actually a chunky font, but it works really well with this type of pen. This one will give you double lines with a gap in the middle. Now you might decide you actually fancy that idea because you can colour in the gap in the middle with a different colour if you want to. This one of a similar shape doesn't do the double lines. So this one is better together demo, and that looks like a single line font pretty much. Then we have Courier New, which I think looks pretty good. And we have Cochin or Cochin, which I think looks pretty good. Slightly closed in on the E there, but there again, this is relatively small. So I did do quite a good test with a number of fonts, and there is absolutely no reason why you can't use these pens in your normal pen holder. You just have to rotate it a fraction. That's all. You don't need a special holder, even though Brother are going to try and sell you one in the form of a calligraphy kit. When I looked at the price of the calligraphy kit, I nearly fainted. Gave me palpitations, it did. What you get in their calligraphy kit are a few sentiments which are pre-designed for you, fine. And you get one font, I think it is. So you don't really get much. Then you get a pen and you get a special calligraphy pen holder. And you know, the only real difference with that pen holder is it has a disc that goes in the bottom with a slot in it, which guides you as to how much to turn your pen before you put it in the holder. Well, if you can't actually work that out, I would dispute that you are actually capable of using the machine in the first place. You know, how much effort does it take to move it slightly? Rotate it in the holder? It doesn't. And that is really the only benefit of having their calligraphy kit. So, yeah. This is a way of doing it, and this was a lot cheaper. I think this set was something like 12 or 13 euros. I was looking for a Zig kit because I vaguely remember them doing some calligraphy pens of this type, and I couldn't actually get them in Spain, which is why I ended up with these. I just thought, if I type in calligraphy, they'll probably come up with something, and it did. So considering you have, 10 colours, I think that's not a bad price. And, they're double-ended, so you get the best of both worlds, really. The fine tip for doing your detail stuff and your doodling and all the rest. And you get the chisel tip for doing various fonts and things. I mean, this is only a very small selection of fonts that I have on my computer. I don't need any more fonts, I really don't. You can even do picture fonts with them if they've got the right pictures, you know, flowers and things like that. You could probably get some nice effects, particularly if you're doing them larger. So yeah, if you want to mess around with doing fancy calligraphy on your envelopes and things, the cheats way of course, then by all means, there is no reason why you can't do it on your machine. Now, I've said that you can do it on the Brother machine. You can do it on any cutting machine that enables you to put a pen in the holder. I've done it before on my Silver Bullet, although not with this type of pen. I frequently use pens in my Silver Bullet. You can put pens in the Silhouette Cameos and things like that. It'll depend on whether the holder takes the pens. And I think most of the cutting machines now, you can get holders to take normal sized pens rather than just little dumpy ones for the machines. So there we go. I thought you might find that interesting, and yeah, I'm going to continue playing because I've got a lot of fonts to go through. Thanks for watching. Leave some comments below, and I hope you will like the video and subscribe to my channel. Take care now.